It's the PokerNews Podcast.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 878th episode of the PokerNews Podcast. I am Chad Holloway, joined by Kyna England and Mike Holtz at Level 9 Studio in Las Vegas. Mike, you're looking good. You're wearing a collared shirt. I don't know if we've seen that before.
Fancy Mike in a real shirt. Look at that.
I'm so cute and proper. See, most normal people, what they do is when all their clothes are washed and ready, they pick their nicest shirts, they wear them first. Me, I've gone through every t-shirt I have, and now all I have left is nice polos. So this is what I'm forced to wear. I need to do my laundry.
It looks great. I like the little flare, the little pop of color.
Thank you. There's a little pop here, a little pop there. Here a pop, there a pop.
Is this what we can expect you to wear at the Global Poker Awards, in a little over a week?
No, I have a yellow jumpsuit for that, as I've explained previously.
I hope you do wear a yellow jumpsuit.
I'm not going to do that.
Body paint, you said.
That is what I said, didn't I? And I stick by it. I'm a man of honesty and truth.
Yep.
Well, we've got some stories that are going to require some honesty and truth in your part. We're going to talk about the state of online poker and the sweeps model. We're going to talk about some drama with Carrel calling out a scammer and a bunch more. We've got the giveaway, Las Vegas book giveaway we'll talk about at the end. But we're going to start with some somber news, and that is the passing of Miami John Cernuto. It broke this past week that he was in hospice care. He had been suffering from cancer, opted to stop treatment, and his time was short, and unfortunately passed away on Monday. He was 81 years old. Miami John, he's a legend. To put it succinctly, he was nominated for the Poker Hall of Fame this past year. Didn't get in, but anybody who's been around poker knows Miami John. The outpouring of people remembering him. What about you guys? I know Miami John. He was grinding those Vegas tournaments. Did you guys cross paths at all?
I can't recall playing with him. I'm sure I did, though. But do you?
Yeah, I played with him a couple times. We had a laugh over Norman Chad had actually called me the Miami John Cernuto of WSOP.com one time. So me and Miami John had a laugh over that. And he's a really nice guy, friendly, jovial. From when I met him, and obviously a legend of the game. So unfortunate to hear he passed.
Yeah, I actually crossed paths with him. This must have been back in November, thereabouts. I was at the Mixed Game Festival at Resorts World, Robbie Straczynski's Mixed Game Festival, and I was playing in the tournament, and Linda Johnson was to my right, and Miami John was to my left. Two legends. Like, Linda's a Poker Hall of Famer, with Miami John, who's been around. And I got to play not only with them, but in between them and hear them tell stories back and forth. I took a picture of myself with Miami John. He was very gracious. I think we swapped numbers at the time because I said, if I ever want to reach out for an interview and something like that. And he was just awesome. And I'm very appreciative to have that opportunity. Looking over his stats, according to Hendon Mob, almost $6.5 million in lifetime earnings dating back to 1987, so pretty much 4 decades.
Oh my God, his Hendon Mob is like as old as us.
It's older than me.
It's not quite as old as me. His number one cash, $259,000. 1997, he won a $2,000 no limit hold'em tournament. He was a 3-time bracelet winner. And, he got the name Miami John. He graduated from Florida State University. And before he got into poker, he was an air traffic controller who ended up getting fired when Ronald Reagan was president. He fired a lot of the air traffic controllers. And that's when he opted to, give poker a go. And he's been, had been doing it ever since, even right up to the end, really. Like, I was looking at his Hendon Mob. His last cash was this past summer. So he was grinding. He had, looks like about 10 cashes or thereabouts in WSOP events or Venetian events. So, he was grinding this summer. He actually had a 3rd place finish in event number 83, which was the $1,500 mix game, 8-game mix. I remember that because everyone was so excited that he was going deep. Josh Aryeh went deep. He ultimately finished in 2nd place. It was Garth Yedick that won it, but just Miami John going deep. He's nominated for the Poker Hall of Fame. James Woods is a good friend of Miami John and tweeted out, remembering his good friend, and he was really advocating him for the Poker Hall of Fame. And I don't know, this one was a gut punch to me because before I even got into poker, I had a handful of favorite players. There were really 4 of them. It was Phil Hellmuth, David Devilfish Elliott, Robert Williamson III, and Miami John Cernuto. And, unfortunately, two of them are gone now, the Devilfish and Miami John. So
I think that's a nice tribute thing. I think he would like to hear that, That's cool.
Yeah, he was a legend, and if he gets posthumously inducted into the Poker Hall of Fame, I would not be opposed.
Yeah,
and he was a great father too. A lot of people don't know that he had a disabled daughter that he took care of, and was his pride and joy, and just a good man all around. You don't often see that in the poker world for 4 decades. So a hat tip to Miami John. He will be missed. Let me thank our sponsor. That is the WSOP free-to-play app. We mentioned it. Miami John had 3 bracelets, and I don't know if you guys noticed, but I got one. I broke it out today.
Okay.
I'm like I need something on the table. So
no,
the WSOP, right? The WSOP free-to-play app is available now on Android or your iPhone. Download it for free. You can play for free. All kinds of PLO, no limit hold'em. They actually sent me in a little commercial. Check it out.
1 million chips welcome bonus. Play the #1 Texas Hold'em free app. Feel the real thrill. Real people, real drama. Real exciting winning moments.
All right, we are back. We're going to talk real quick about Charlie Carrel, and then we're going to toss it to an interview that Calum Grant did with Charlie. He put out a tweet earlier this week in which he was calling out Sean Johnston as a scammer, saying he owes $60,000. Repeated, some of the allegations in his tweet, and he did so in the interview as well. But what do you guys make of this? Charlie coming out, calling out a scammer.
Yeah, I'm sure the guy probably owes Charlie money. Who really knows? But man, I just can't stand Charlie Carrel as a human being or a person. The guy is he's about as big of a grifter in poker as you can get. The guy's, God, just, I don't know, really, really just annoying face, body features, the way he talks, the way he walks. Really don't like that guy.
Well, I think the call out culture has become a little a little too ramped up, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Is like, he said in the message, he's like, oh, the guy is responding. He's trying to make efforts to pay me back, but I'm going to call him out anyway on scumming me, So it's kind of like, all right, when does business stay private? Like, who knows what's happening there? Like, just ruining someone's reputation. Like, I don't know. It just, I'm starting to not like it a lot.
To be fair, though, like I have a bunch of people who owe me money, and there's plenty of them where I've been in that exact situation where I'm like, God, I should call them out publicly to make sure nobody else gets involved with this. If somebody else owes, you know what I mean?
I guess that's true, like helping the community as a whole, but I don't know, like not in all instances, and it seems sometimes it gets really blown out of proportion. Like Charlie is like a really big name, and to call some guy out like that, I don't know. Wonder if he'll come out and respond though.
Well, he did say, from what I saw, was that this guy had owed other people money.
Oh, okay.
And I'll give you an example.
He did have a bit of a history. It was like on 2+2 and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so like Kao Saechao Flex from the Venetian, he owes me like $2,600. And as soon as he owed me the money and he stopped, like it's like a month afterwards, I'm like asking for the money. I'm asking around. It's like everyone's like, oh, dude, yeah, he owes me $2,600 too. And somebody else is like, are you talking about Flex? And I'm like, God, you know what I mean? So it's like, if somebody would have just spoken out beforehand and been like, hey, by the way, that guy's scamming everyone. You know what I mean? It could be. So I think if
Flex, huh?
Yeah. Oh, you didn't know?
No, I didn't know. I know Flex, but
Flex owes everybody a bunch of
using
money.
our platform to call out.
He's a scammer. Flex is a wee scammer.
I haven't seen him around in a while though. So
yeah, no, he's a scammer 100%. Charlie Carrel, not necessarily a scammer himself, but boy, some of the courses he sells, pretty interesting if you'd purchase those. I don't know if you're getting your money's worth. Who knows? Anyway.
Well, as I mentioned, my colleague Calum Grant chatted with Charlie about his tweet and did a little interview that we're going to share here.
Does he show chest hair? Is there chest hair?
Charlie, thanks for joining on to a quick Zoom call today. You just posted on X about someone owing you $60,000. Tell us a bit about this.
Yeah, I posted on X, Instagram, and Facebook. Sometimes I take my time before calling somebody out publicly, but this seems like a pretty good time to do it quickly because I had spoke about this person in high regards, having played in his 235-pound tournament in the BPS, and did an interview. And somebody that I used to do business with, in poker business with, reached out to me and said, "Oh, it's a shame that I see you supporting this guy." And I was like, "Wait, why?" And he told me a story about working in these app games with him and essentially depositing money. And then when he won money on these app games, he wanted to withdraw the money, and the money was nowhere to be seen. And that is pretty huge. Like, to take somebody's deposit and then just spend it somewhere else, or like, you're meant to just hold on to a deposit. That's what a deposit is. It's an escrow essentially. So I then also saw a 2+2 post, and it seems to be there's a myriad of other people that have experienced similar phenomena with this gentleman. I really like the guy. Unfortunately, people's actions don't always support the energy that they have. But because of all of these things, I thought it was good to act quickly due to the high percentage certainty that I had that he was doing these things, and the fact that he might end up doing it to somebody else who potentially can't afford to lose the money.
Okay, so the person in mention is Sean Johnston of BPS. For those who aren't aware of BPS, what does that stand for? What is it?
I believe it's the British Poker Service. It's like a poker league. It's like you got Grosvenor, and BPS is kind of like the new kids on town. And like I said, I went to play their 235-pound tournament, and this is going to be good advertisement for them. But it was like such a good tournament, and it was like all recreational players. So I still really like the product. It's just a shame that the co-founder of it happens to be stealing money from people.
So where it says he owes you $60,000, is that just from sort of your winnings on the site?
So the club in question is one that I work with very directly, and the way that these things work is you have agents, and then they have players underneath them. And so the agents will be dealing with the communication, they'll be dealing with the payments and things like that. And often how these things work is you give people credit, and these things kind of run off credit. So somebody says, okay, I'll take 50K. If I lose, I'll pay it next week or whatever. Everyone's kind of chill about it because reputations are king within this industry. And if somebody's reputation isn't there, you kind of get hard vouchers and things like this. And a hard vouch is very important to understand. It's if you hard vouch to somebody, that means that if they don't pay their debt, you owe that debt. And one of the most common things that you run into in the poker world, and I know some huge names in poker that have done this that I'm not ready to speak out against yet because it's not my story to tell just yet, at least, have done exactly that. They've hard vouched to somebody and then not paid when the other person doesn't pay, and it's very close to stealing in essence. It's very close to it's hard to define exactly what it is. So that's what happened here with Sean. He hard vouched like 4 times. I made it very, very clear that it was his liability that if the other guy doesn't pay. And then some guy loses 60 grand on this game. It was one of the best games I've ever played in. And it didn't hurt as much because I personally won 50K in the game. So it's like I technically only lost 10 in this, but also technically also lost 60. And then the excuses started coming. And I've seen this a million times. You've seen this a million times. Anyone that's been in poker or has had a friend owe them money, it's just like, oh, next week, oh, this happened, oh, this happened, this happened, this happened. And my gut was just like, something's off here. I don't know whether this player actually existed or whether it was just Sean on a different account using a VPN. There's like a lot of shady shenanigans going on at the moment that I hate to bore people with the details of. But the fact of the matter is that, these app games, I think they're the future of poker in some way, but the reputation of them have been completely marred by people having way too high rake or not paying people back or agents scamming people. There's so many of these stories that haven't reached the public eye. So I kind of want to clear this up. And Jungle Man is somebody that I've been working with, not so much with the app game stuff, just in general. Like this, we both just have like 50 people that should probably go public, or that, you know, they have come to us with these stories. And we really want to just get poker a better reputation than it already has, because it's things have got a little bit slimy behind the scenes.
All right, we are back to talk a little different subject that we talked about a little bit offline between the three of us in our group chat, and that was kind of the state of online poker, specifically in Nevada, but how that's being impacted by developments throughout the country, with the sweepstakes model kind of coming under fire in a lot of regards. And Mike, you said, you know, you're not too happy with WSOP.com, which is the only legalized online option you guys have in Nevada. But as somebody who's a 2-time online player of the year who made his living grinding online, like, give the listeners an update on, like, where do things stand right now?
Sure. So if you play in Nevada and you want to play online poker, your only option for legalized, regulated is World Series of Poker Nevada, which shares a player pool with New Jersey as well as where's the other? Michigan. And I believe we're going to get Pennsylvania in the next year or so.
Delaware? No?
Delaware doesn't exist anymore.
Oh,
They
okay.
used to. It's been removed. So that's the only regulated option. All the unregulated options, as of right now, are pulling out of Nevada. There's been some sort of court case where now the sweepstakes model is under fire. So now Poker Bros is pulled out, which, that's just bot infested anyway. It doesn't matter. Global's pulled out now. If you're in Nevada, you no longer can deposit, and you soon will not be able to play. And I've heard a lot of rumblings that ClubWPT might not be available in Nevada. Now, Las Vegas, Nevada, it's the mecca of poker in America. I think we can all agree on that, right? And it sucks to be someone who moved here to play poker for a living, and I've transitioned in the online world, and now looking at a place to play, I only have WorldSeriesOfPoker.com, which before has been totally cool. I've thrived on there. I won Player of the Year in 2021 and in 2023, and I've had a decent relationship with them as of late, the last couple of years, where I've been able to talk to them and discuss changes, etc. With the new website, it doesn't make any sense. Nothing makes sense. The schedule, there's not tournaments running all throughout the day. They're leaving millions of dollars on the table by just not running the correct tournaments, not running the correct schedule, not asking anyone. And it's baffling that they have tournaments that they don't work correctly. They'll say a $55 buy-in PKO, you buy into the tournament, it's a PLO tournament. It's like things like that. And it sucks when you're trying to play professionally and you go to play and the first term of the day starts at 4 p.m. Pacific. So more than half of the player pool is on the East Coast. And the first tournament is at 7 p.m.
They have little
Eastern.
ones that are a lot earlier, but they're very, very small.
Right, well, $100 and over.
Yeah.
If you're a professional player, I'd say $100 is a pretty reasonable price point. If the first $100 tournament starts at 7 p.m. every day, that makes no sense. And it's the same thing on weekends. And it's every player, this isn't just me complaining, every player in the player pool does not like WorldSeriesOfPoker.com's schedule. There's not a single person out there that likes it. And to be honest, it's just costing them money and it's costing us money. And not only that, but the securities online poker, it's just bad now. Like, you can't trust that people aren't sharing cards. It just seems like nothing's done. Let's say that I'm playing on GG, which is an international site for everyone. Let's say I played the same amount of time I did on World Series of Poker Nevada the last 4 years, which is 10,000 plus tournaments. During that time, even ACR, as terrible as they are, I would have received money from cheating players who had gotten caught and they had confiscated their money. I've received $0 from WSOP.com, where on GG by now I would have received maybe, I don't know, $30,000 to $100,000.
What do they do with that money? They just keep it?
Nobody knows, and they don't tell anybody.
Oh, that seems...
So it's one of those things where it's very weird. It's like, it's supposed to be a regulated market, but I don't feel safe at all. I know people who are sharing cards on a regular basis. There's tournaments right now, like when the site started, they had $100 100K every Sunday, and it would get, I don't know, 3,000 runners, something ridiculous. Now it's barely breaking the overlays. Everything's coming down at 75K. There used to be a $500 buy-in, $50,000 guarantee. That tournament is now a $400 15K guarantee. So we're talking, I mean, it's sad, and it's supposed to be booming. And if you look at ClubWPT Gold right now, if you go on their thing, they're in beta. You're not even allowed to play yet. And they have, if you don't have an ambassador code, and they have hundreds of people in their tournaments already, all hours of the day. WSOP.com could be doing the same thing, but they're negligent. They're 100% negligent. If they could just reach out to the players and say, hey, what can we make better? They'd be making, and I'm not exaggerating, at least $1 million extra a year. Well, it's insane.
And the transparency, like, just where is that money going? That really worries me. Like, all of the money, you know, then they held that guy, didn't get his ring, and he didn't get his first place money. What happened to that first place money? You know?
Here's the craziest part is that guy's not even banned. He's suspended temporarily. They haven't even concluded the investigation. So let me just say this. This guy, he goes, people say he's cheating. I get all these messages. You gotta help. We're all reporting him. Nothing's happening. I then text Danielle, the vice president of WSOP.com. I tell her what's going on, okay? She says, email me, blah, blah, blah. 28 days later, he's not banned. Nothing happened. So I assume, these guys had to have been wrong. He hadn't have been cheating. He wins a bracelet. Next day, boom, suspended, and he's been investigated ever since, and he has not been permanently banned. They have not finished. It's been months. What's happening over there? Like, in all honesty, I've never seen a business run as poorly as WSOP.com Nevada. I think it's crazy. And like I've said in episodes prior, they have a money printing machine, and it's just sending money out. So they're like, well, whatever, you know, it is what it is. But they're really leaving things on the table, and they're killing online poker in Nevada. I mean, it's sad. It's negligence at this point. It makes no sense.
And, you know, you mentioned like the kind of those unregulated, the sweepstakes model sites are coming under fire as well. The American Gaming Association has come out publicly against them, urging a lot of district attorneys, state attorneys to shut down, send cease and desist. We just recently seen ClubGG pull out of Michigan. You're seeing a court battle with one of these subscription sites in the state of Florida. And I think it's just kind of the start. Like, it sounds like they're going to crack down hard. They're likening it to the internet cafes of like the early 2000s, right?
Sure.
Where people would go to these internet cafes that were really like illegal gambling. And the workaround, for those who don't know about like a sweepstakes site, is that it's technically free to play. So you don't have to wager anything to potentially win. And that's kind of the distinction, if you will, that there's no purchase required.
It's a workaround. I mean, it's the same exact thing. You're just buying something called sweeps coins instead of actual cash. It's the exact same thing.
Well, and I don't think this is just recently coming to fire. This has been going on. This is like, you know, since those gaming sites have popped up, like, I'm pretty sure like the tribal casinos have notified the DOJ, probably Caesars, MGM, all the big heavy hitters in the gambling industry have notified the Department of Justice that it is on their radar. And now that they're just popping up more often, and there's states getting involved, pulling out like states directly, like now it's becoming a bigger deal. But who knows, like it's not going to be a right away thing. You know what I mean? It's not going to be like everything's shut down all of a sudden. But
no, everything's already shut down. ClubWPT is about to pull out soon.
No, I mean, in Nevada, I'm just saying Nevada in general. But like, I mean, once it becomes like, you know, nationwide, like if it's a big deal, like they might pull out everywhere. But who knows? I don't know. I just think that I know, like, you know, from a perspective of kind of sort of looking at this stuff, it's not a recent thing that's come up. Like they've been really, you know, rumbling about it for quite a few years now.
I think one of the most important things to get out of all of this is that if you watch sports, and you're watching any sport now, DraftKings is popping up. Boom. Bet in any state. You can, you know.
We can't bet on DraftKings either. That kind of sucks. I love DraftKings. And their lines are always so much better. God.
So anyway. So the point is this. If the government can trust us to sports bet, which, by the way, if you think you're going to be a better sports better than a poker player, I don't know what's going on there. You're getting crushed unless you're sharp. It's never happening. They're literally, I mean, it's just sports betting is just stealing from the poor of your state. Every state the sports betting companies are winning money. They never lose money. It's not gambling. Gambling implies you can win. You can't win overall against DraftKings. DraftKings is always going to win in every single state.
But that's the difference, though. It is regulated gambling, whereas these sweeps coins models are not.
My nutsack is regulated.
Well, but that is
mean?
like DraftKings, FanDuel. Those all qualify as gaming, as gambling, as online gambling. The other models don't.
But what I'm getting at is, why can't we have poker?
No, I don't know.
In what world do we? Am I as an adult?
Right.
I'm allowed to go in my house at night at over 21. I can't get online and I can't play a little cards, but I can go and I can put a parlay on Xavier Worthy, alternate line plus 17 catches, Chiefs plus. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's crazy to me.
Oh, that's
let me rein this back in because we're getting a bit deep and off track.
Well, you told Mike to just let loose, you know.
Yeah, it's an error on your part, but I think it's important discourse that. If we're the Poker News podcast, the biggest poker news that could happen is online poker legal in all of America, right? I mean, that's pretty fucking big, right? So in my mind, why isn't that allowed? And I think it doesn't make sense. And I think that we as a poker community need to figure out a way to do something, if we can even do anything. But it should exist by now. It's lunacy.
I honestly wish that the Poker Stars would be legal, like more states, because I played on their home game model a lot in COVID, and I like their software. Poker Stars does a nice job.
Well, I'll say this, the silver lining, with the attention that the sweepstakes model is getting, it is an argument to be made for legalized poker, right? If you have these states who are thinking about legalizing online poker, online gaming, they can go and say, hey, if we don't do it, players just go to these sites and play it, so we might as well. And the other silver lining is that there are a lot of states currently considering online poker or online gaming bills, really more than I've seen in many, many years. New York being among them. Connor Richards did an interview with Senator Joseph Addabbo, who introduced a bill. I mean, New York is, aside from California, the number one state we would want just based on population.
Connor had an interview with the senator?
He did. We do some, legit journalism from time to time.
Wow, big time, Connor. Post a link in the comments.
I will. And there's other states like Indiana, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Illinois, kind of your home state. So there is excitement in that regard. Like, people are at least talking about it. And if we can just get another domino to fall, who knows? But Mike's right. Like, it's way overdue. This should have been done a long time ago. I don't know what's taking so long. And, we'll have to wait and see. I think everybody agrees that the state of online poker right now is not the greatest. But you did mention ClubWPT or WPT. What is it?
ClubWPT Gold.
There we go.
ClubWPT Gold. We said it right, guys. ClubWPT Gold.
I hope they just stay in Nevada. Unless...
Well, they have announced an online series in conjunction with the RunGood Poker Tour. So they're about to kick off their new season, which is Mission RunGood. It's kind of got like this astronaut theme, which I think is pretty cool. And for the first time, they're going to do an online series that is going to run from February 23rd into May. There's different, dates. It looks like it's going to be every Sunday between those, and culminating in an invite-only tournament where there will be a WPT World Championship package available, $12,400. So this is something worth checking out. Sick. We will link to it. But congratulations to our friends at RunGood and ClubWPT Gold. It's cool to see this sort of thing.
Yeah.
All right, kind of let's talk about you, because last week we talked about
thing.
we talked about you at the MSPT in Milwaukee, going deep, I think 16th place, and then this past weekend it was deja vu because you were going deep in another MSPT.
Yeah, so the Venetian had their poker bowl, as we talked about last week, and I went and jumped in on the last flight and ended up 10th place finish. It was kind of a bummer ending though, because like I really wanted to be part of that, first stream that the Venetian did, and I tried to hang on, but it just gets the best of me. Sometimes I get in my own head, or like I just fast track too much. But 10th place is not a terrible finish. So it was a really fun tournament, and I'm out there in those MSPT streets again. So let's do it.
Yeah, and you got MSPT Icon, right? Like, this is a distinction that was recently started in the last couple of years, but tell the listeners what exactly that means.
Well, Icons, I think they pull their top cashers, they pull their player of the years, and the Hall of Famers, I think is what it is. And so all of those people are eligible to become top Icon by earning points, I think, throughout the year. I'm not like exactly sure. I might be getting some of this wrong, but I think then the top point earner gets a WPT package of some sort. So that's what it is. And there's only 40 people that qualify. So basically competing against 39 other people for this package. Probably Uma will win it again.
I don't know, because Umut is on top of their season 16 player of the year leaderboard with 2,900 points, but now you've cracked it too, Kyna. You're in 9th place with 1,600 points. Is there another MSPT player of the year? You got it in 2021.
Yeah, I don't think I can chase them all this time. There's so many in Iowa, and just like travel is getting so tough. There's one in St. Louis. I was actually, because my friend Angela is going, I was looking at flights, and it's like $900 to fly from Vegas to St. Louis for one tournament. Like I can't justify the expense anymore, but I probably will hit up the stops that are around here. There's one in San Diego, the end of April. There's one in Michigan, which I'll probably go to. That's the big one. I'll go to that. And then all the ones that are around here in Vegas. So I'll give it my best. But I think I am second if you look again on the icons list. So Umut is first and I'm second at least. So I can say that.
There you go.
Hello.
Well, in that Poker Bowl, it was the 9th iteration of the MSPT Poker Bowl at Venetian. 892 runners. Anthony Scarborough took it down for $152,000, and I believe it was a 3-way chop, maybe a 4-way chop. Dan Heimiller taking second place in that one for $136K. Always fun to see Dan Heimiller. That guy is a treat. And kind of, you mentioned it, the new studio. Venetian debuted their new studio. The Poker Bowl final table was the first stream, and we sent Connor there to get a little behind the scenes look, chatted with Tommy, and this was before that final table, so it was a little exclusive behind the scenes, and I thought I would share that video with you. Check it out.
Hey guys, Connor Richards of Poker News here, standing in the brand new Venetian Poker Studio that's going to be home to some of the most entertaining live stream games out there. It's going to be a haven for poker vloggers and really a way to put Las Vegas on the poker content creation map. Joey Ingram, one of the biggest content creators out there, is going to be really involved with the room. And I just sat down with Tommy LaRosa, the director of poker operations here at Venetian, to get the inside scoop.
We have a ton of ideas of what we want to do with this room. First off is streaming, deep stack tournament final tables, streaming cash games, right? In addition to that, we want to host podcasts, right? Whether it's a business podcast, sporting podcast, whatever the podcast from that group that wants to be in here and go live from the Venetian Poker Room at the Venetian Resort, we want to have them here. So we're very excited about the opportunities and the possibilities for this room and really looking forward to unveiling it.
And poker content creation is something that's really boomed in the last few years. Poker rooms and casinos have had to adjust, allowing vloggers and things like that. What inspired the Venetian to kind of get involved in this space?
Yeah, listen, I wanted to create an energy in this room, right? Las Vegas is known for that energy, like the big sporting weekends, right? When the Super Bowl is in town, or March Madness, or those big fight weekends, right? I wanted to create that same kind of atmosphere in the poker room, right? And having those vloggers and the content creators here in the room, showing the key hands, showing the moments, showing the property, showing the room. Like, I wanted to create that energy and vibe on the internet. And so, yeah, I'm excited to work with all these content creators. There's already dozens that have reached out to me, and there's already several that are already filming content in the room here. So just super excited to try to bring that energy and excitement into poker and keep it going and keep it alive.
So one of the biggest content creators is Joey Ingram. He's kind of the GOAT of that. And I've heard that he's going to be pretty involved with this.
Yeah. Listen, we're super excited to have Joey as part of our team here at the Venetian, right? He's an expert in his field, right, on social media and content creation, and we wanted him to be a part of this once again to help drive that energy, that excitement, right? And we're going to lean on Joey and leverage his contacts in the industry to really try to just bring awareness about our brand and what we're doing here. So yeah, Joey's a great ambassador for the game, and I couldn't be happier to have him a part of our team here.
And so in addition to this very nice brand new studio, we're also kind of in the back of a brand new Venetian poker room that unveiled last year. Talk about how's it been so far? How's the traffic been and all that?
The room has been amazing, right? Obviously, there were some concerns, about, our new location, would it work, right, where we're at? But I think all those concerns have died down, right? The traffic has been amazing up here. You come here on a Saturday night, the room is completely full, right? It's our ease to the parking garage. You can park in the Palazzo parking garage. You can be in your car in 60 seconds, right? All the amenities that we brought up to this room, from the dedicated restrooms to the dedicated service well for beverage drinks, some of the quickest beverage times in the city, right? We have a self-service station where you can get your own soda or coffee, Lavazza. We have a Lavazza machine. So we have all the amenities that a poker player could want and ask for. And then, of course, the streaming studio, which, we didn't unveil it in August. It took us some time to dial this in and get it right. But I think once people see this, it's such a wow factor. I mean, you walk in the room and you can kind of see it, and it's just like, oh my gosh, you just can't believe how well this turned out.
Has there been a lot of curiosity from some of the regulars, peeking their head over and wondering what this is?
Every day, right? Every day people are trying to take a peek, and I love it. They're just as curious and interested and want to see it, which once again creates that excitement and that buzz in the room, right? Which is what I want for a poker room, right? You don't want a stuffy poker room where everyone is, folding every hand, right? You want people that are here, gambling, having fun, having that Vegas experience, and they're doing it right here from the Venetian Poker Room at the Venetian Resort,
And you mentioned that unveiling back in August. I remember there was a pretty fun meetup game. There was Nelly in the mix, people going, all in on the first hand, things like that. Are there any other fun meetup games or things like that planned?
Oh, we're going to continue that theme, right? We're not going to slow down. We have a Gazzy B meetup game, February 15th, Gary Blackwood. We have our Wayne Politz meetup game with the PLO mix coming up February 21st, right? We're going to do some meetup games with Joey Ingram and Jamie Kerstetter, two of our ambassadors. So yeah, we're not going to slow down in the meetup game space. I think it's great to bring, all these content creators here on property and all the people that want to play with them. Once again, I'm trying to create that energy and that buzz and that excitement. And, everyone who's come to the room, so far is just overwhelmingly positive stuff to say about the room, which is what I wanted to create and that vibe I wanted to have. So, no, it's been great. Super excited, and we can't wait to continue it.
Well, Tommy, thanks so much for inviting us down here and talking to us about this really exciting new studio.
Yeah, no, pleasure to have you guys. Excited for you guys to help showcase what we're doing here. And Connor, I can't thank you enough for your time today. Thank you.
All right, so there you have it, a look at the Venetian's new studio. You can check out their streams. They plan on doing, as Tommy said, a lot of cash games, tournaments, final tables. I'm looking forward to checking it out when I get to Vegas during the Global Poker Awards. Have a tour with Tommy already scheduled. I want to talk about two fun, basketball-related stories, but they have very strong poker connections that both happened. The first one I was alerted to by Bernard Lee, who is a good friend of mine, longtime poker player. I think he took 13th in the 2005 World Series of Poker main event. He has a son named Noah, who I've kind of watched grow up through Christmas cards because Bernard Lee always sends me Christmas cards. And he was at UMass women's basketball game, and I don't think it was like a halftime thing where he had to come. He had 30 seconds to make a layup, a free throw, a three-pointer, and then a half-court shot to win $10,000. His friend Josh Schreiber was in the crowd and filmed it. Check it out.
Three-pointer and a half-court shot before time expires. Noah, are you ready? On your mark, get set, go! Halfway there. Noah for three.
All right, so there you see it. He got the job done, but they weren't going to pay him. The insurance said his foot was on the line, and they weren't going to pay him, which created a bit of an uproar, and I think was the kind of bullshit. What do you guys think about that?
I mean, in the free throw, I watched it. You can see his foot touch the line, but it was sort of after he already shot it seemed like. And it's 30 seconds to make 3 shots in a row like that, and he did it. Come on, man. Benefit of the doubt.
The half-court one was his foot was on the line, not the free throw, right?
I think the free throw, I don't know which one. It looked like on the free throw, his foot was on the line.
But they let him go to the next one.
Well, he just had to do it all in 30 seconds. He just does it.
You don't have time to think,
He just
Mike.
does it, and then he does it, and then he does it.
Yeah, but you got to make one. You got to make in that competition normally.
No, he just did it though. He made the layup, then he ran to the free throw line. He made the free throw, then he ran to the half court, and he just did it all in a row. They didn't stop him.
I literally told you guys, let's not spend time on this. So let's not do the distinction about basketball.
He made that shit, dog. That shit. Give him the goddamn money.
Right, sorry.
That's what I'm.
Anyway,
so, well,
give him the fucking
there was
money.
it was a hero that came, a UMass grad, one Ethan Yao, Rampage Poker, offering to pay $5,000 to Noah. But the good news is this got such negative backlash that the school finally came to their senses and was like, we're just going to pay him, which I think is the right move. It wasn't worth the negative PR that was involved in that. The other story was involving a WSOP circuit grinder, one Joe Rice. He's a 2-time ring winner, and he was at a basketball game as well where he got to shoot, where he needed to make something very similar to win beer for free for a year, which really equates to a 30-pack of Miller Lite every month for a year. He needed to make, a layup, a free throw, and 2 3-pointers in under 30 seconds. He did it in 11 seconds, and he had a unique celebration. Check it out.
His name's Joe. If you make a layup, a free throw, and 2 3-pointers, you win beer. Go ahead, Joe. He hasn't missed. Joe, off glass. You can play for Ohio State. No, you can't. You're not in good enough shape. He wins a 30-pack of beer each month for the next year. Party at Joe's, huh? Who wants to party with Joe? You do. Shirts off. We're going to crush a 30-pack at Joe's in Siena. Oh, by the way, Siena won 77-62. We got to stick. Don't go yet. Don't go yet. Wait. Stay with it. There we go. Let's get nude at Sports Center, baby.
So there you have it. He wins beer for a year. Scott Van Pelt did a segment on ESPN about this. It made Sports Center. Ooh. What do you think about that, Mike? Beer for a year.
I'll get butt naked for how many beers was it? I'll do it for
30
less.
beers a month.
30
one
beers
beer
a month,
day,
one beer
yeah.
a day. I'm in there. We'll do a segment next time, but I'm butt naked. I'm not. Why do you keep
We
his
should
pants
have an
on?
outing. Like, let's just film Mike doing this, and then I will buy you beer for a year.
Okay, sick. Suck it, guys.
We'll crowdsource it.
Yeah, sick. Hell yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to put a cap on this episode, but before we do, I want to remind you that we are giving away a copy of the Las Vegas book valued at $500. This is going to run through the end of February. What you have to do is subscribe to Poker News and the Las Vegas book YouTube channels, and then comment Poker News on the Las Vegas book trailer, right? The video on that channel, and then our video on the Poker News channel, you type in book. I know it's kind of complicated, but just check out the links. You can do it. I'm going to tweet it out. I'm going to share it on social media. It's a lot easier than it seems. All right, guys, that's it. We got one more episode before the Global Poker Awards where we are nominated for Podcast of the Year. And in fact, I think next week we're going to do kind of a special show in which we go through the Global Poker Award nominees, a little preview show, if you will. And I'm going to be flying into Vegas. I'm looking forward to seeing you both. And I don't know, what do you think, Mike? Are we going to win this thing or what?
Yes, we are going to win this thing.
Yes.
I hope so. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see. Do us a favor. You can help us, subscribe, like, give us that 5-star review, tell all your friends. We will be back next week for our last episode before the Global Poker Awards. Until then, we'll keep a seat open for you.